This is the Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fortol School of Government and Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. This Sunday, we will announce the Universal Declaration of Independence for the Luo Nation. In the 1960s, Raila's father wrote a book and declared, "Not yet Uhuru." But on December 12th, next week, the Luo Nation will finally be free. It is Independence Day for the Luo Nation. But we must clarify this. It is not Independence Day because Raila will swear himself in. It is Independence Day because the Luo Nation will finally be free from Odingaism. If Raila is sworn in, he will be charged with treason. If found guilty, the penalty is death. And if this happens, it will mark the end of a dark empire. But there is one more thing. If he is arrested, he will not be tried at the Kibera courts. He will be put on a helicopter and flown to Lodwar, where there is nothing to stone or burn. That is where the trial will be held.
Happy Independence Day to the Luo Nation. Now we will tell you why December 12th is the last day of Raila in politics. He told us that he will not swear himself in the Kiza Besigye way. That was weak. He said he will do it the Zimbabwe way. And by saying so, he was threatening to stage a coup. In Zimbabwe, the generals staged a coup against Robert Mugabe. Then they swore their candidate in. If Raila vowed to do it the Zimbabwe way, is he telling us that he will use rogue elements in the military to swear himself in? In our view, he should be encouraged to do so. Then his fate can be sealed with finality. But Raila is not a fool. He will swear himself in as the President of the People's Assembly, which is like an NGO, and you cannot arrest him for this. Then he will incite the youth to storm Kisumu State House. What he really wants is the Kisumu massacre. This man is energized by dead people, and his battery is a little low after we refused to fight.
Happy Independence Day to the Luo Nation. Now we will describe your leader to you using a story. It's about a shepherd boy whose job it was to take care of village sheep. Occasionally, the boy would get bored and amused himself by screaming, "Wolf! Wolf!" even though there was no wolf. The villagers would stop what they were doing and run to save the sheep from the wolf. But on their arrival, the boy would burst out laughing. It would be a joke on the villagers. And the boy did this over and over again. But one day, he saw a real wolf amongst the sheep. Alarmed and scared, he jumped to his feet and shouted as loudly as he could, "Wolf! Wolf!" But the villagers thought that he was being the usual joker. No one came out to defend the sheep. Then the boy ran to the village screaming, "There really is a wolf! Why aren't you coming?" The village elder replied, "Nobody believes a liar, even when he is telling the truth." Raila has told us many political lies, but the swearing in is the real wolf that will consume him.
Now we will address the Raila maniacs, including the Kikuyu chocolate soldier from Kiambu, name withheld. We will tell you what you are suffering from using a story about Joseph Stalin, the Russian dictator. One day, he went to a cabinet meeting with a live chicken. He sat on his bossy chair, said nothing, and started to pluck the feathers of the chicken one by one. The chicken screamed in pain, but Stalin continued to pluck the feathers until the chicken was naked. Happy with the results, he released the chicken and got some chicken feed. Then he threw them at the naked chicken. To the surprise of his cabinet, the chicken forgot its pain and started eating the feed, even from his hand. When Stalin got up, the chicken would not leave him. It followed him wherever he went. Asked to explain this, he said, "This chicken represents the people. You can disempower them, brutalize them, and torture them. But if in that desperate situation you give them peanuts, they will follow you blindly. And this is how Raila has conditioned his maniacs countrywide.
Now, we will interpret Kalonzo to the country. In the coalition government, he was Raila's boss, but they were enemies. Working with Raila reveals something to Kalonzo, and it can only be explained using a story written in AD 46. It is about a verbal exchange between King Hero and an enemy. In the heat of the exchange, the enemy told the king that he had stinking breath. The king was shocked. For his entire life, nobody had told him that. Furious and embarrassed about this, he headed straight to the palace and summoned his wife. Rebuking her for not telling him of his bad breath, he wondered why she had kept it from him all along. But his simple wife was quick to respond by saying, "Sir, I thought that all men's breath smells as bad as yours." By abandoning Raila, Kalonzo has told the country that Baba has bad breath. But to the Raila maniacs, all heroes are supposed to smell as bad as Baba. And this is why December 12th is Independence Day for them.
As a young student of law, I am confused by political hypocrites. And this is because I do not understand politics very well. But I have learned a theory called the correspondence theory of truth. It is about consistency. It is about things adding up and exposing political hypocrites. And NASA is a house of hypocrites. For instance, Wetangula told us that Baba is firing blanks. Then he prophesied that Raila will fail in his attempt at the presidency. When his prophecy came true, Wetangula changed. Now he's part of the people pushing Baba to swear himself in. They know that he will fire blanks at the swearing in, but they do not care. Then there's another hypocrite called Bonnie Halwale. He lost miserably in the August election. Then he got a John the Baptist moment. In this moment of realization, he told us that Raila should go home. But a few weeks after abusing Raila, he's now one of the people swearing Raila in. Yet he knows Raila will fail. This is not consistent. This man is a political hypocrite. Merry Christmas.
Uhuru Kenyatta is the least studied politician in our history, yet he is the most analyzed politician by the media. And people analyzing him do it from the cleverness of their heads, not from informed undertakings. But the most annoying of this are the TV panelists who manga from one TV station to another in the morning and in the evening, exchanging ignorance as they run their mouths about politics. I want to educate them using a bit of history. Number one, Uhuru Kenyatta has nothing to lose. After swearing in, he has license to be bad. And for the next 5 years, the man has to do what a man has to do. And I hope that he will do it. Number two, if Raila breaks the law, Uhuru will arrest him. And instead of sending him to Lodwar with a helicopter from the military for trial, Uhuru will send him using a jalopy Land Rover to stress him. And in Lodwar there will be no youths from Kibera to demonstrate and ban things. And this is how Raila will be forgotten, in my view. Number three, we do not know Uhuru Kenyatta. And the second term is a chance for the real Uhuru Kenyatta to stand up. And my thinking is that he will show us who Uhuru Kenyatta really is.
And now, our final thought. Because we are in the mood of giving stories today, we will give the Luo nation a story. It is about a Nigerian wise man who moved from village to village, answering complex questions without fail. But one day, a clever Yoruba boy hatched a scheme. He decided to hold a delicate butterfly in his hand and then approach the wise man with the question, dead or alive? If the wise man said the butterfly was dead, the boy would release it. If the wise man said it was alive, the boy would squeeze it to death. Either way, the boy would win. When the wise oracle visited the village, the boy popped from the crowds with a clenched fist. Then he shouted to the wise man, dead or alive? The wise man studied the eyes of the little boy, and without hesitation, he told him, it all depends on you. And this is the message to the Luo nation. It all depends on you. You can bury Raila on December 12th or continue his yoke of darkness forever.